What's up, everybody? I'm Kyle Carlson, and this is the Rollback BMX Podcast, the #1 BMX podcast in the universe, according to me. Today's guest is JJ Palmere. JJ is a longtime pro rider who is strongly devoted to health and wellness. We discuss JJ's roots in BMX, riding for Little Devil, his upcoming V3 signature frame from Fiend, the back injury that initially turned him on to health and wellness, his personal diet, and his brand Plants Basically, who's making products that are used by pro riders like Dennis Anderson and Dan Lacey. Sit back, listen up, prepare to get educated by a man who is probably much smarter than all of us. This is the Rollback BMX Podcast with JJ Palmere. All right, we are officially live. What is up, JJ?
What's going on, Kyle? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Really good.
Did you get engaged?
I did, yeah.
I thought I saw that the other day.
Recently, I just got engaged, yeah.
Why?
Why? That's funny. I've actually never been one to believe in marriage, and I actually changed my views pretty recently about the whole thing.
What caused that?
I think partially meeting the right person and just feeling confident and making a decision for a lifelong partnership with somebody.
How long have you been with her?
It's going on 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems to be into all the same shit you are.
Yeah, we're very similar people.
Yeah. Where did you meet her at?
I met her at Cacao Fest in Balboa Park.
I didn't know that was something that existed.
Yeah. So it's pretty like a magical thing, meeting over chocolate, and it's like this chakra aligning hug class that we both attended. And
what is that?
It was just like teaching people how to hug properly, because they say when you hug, like, you're supposed to be heart to heart.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like the whole purpose of hugging and stuff. And yeah, it's just like funny meeting in that type of way. It just seemed very special when you meet someone that way.
So a hugging class at a Cacao Fest.
Yeah.
That sounds, there's some poetry to that.
Yeah.
Something beautiful. Congratulations. When are you guys trying to do it?
I'm not sure. There's been talks about different ideas we had for a wedding, because we don't really want to do a big wedding.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's still pretty far out, because she has a lot of stuff going on with school, so we're going to probably wait till afterwards.
She goes for some sort of health-based stuff, right?
Yeah, she's going for her ND, which is a naturopathic doctor.
Okay. That sounds pretty official.
Yeah.
Do they make as much money as regular doctors?
I assume so, yeah.
Nice.
I think they do. I think society kind of looks at them a little bit differently, and that's just kind of...
I think that's changing.
Because of like the herbal aspect, it's like it's
Yeah.
not as accepted as pharmaceutical drugs and stuff, as far as like the large population goes.
I had Alex Hyam on the podcast not that long ago, and he has no spleen.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that he went to a bunch of like traditional doctors, and like they couldn't really help him much, and he went to some homeopathic style doctor and like put him on a different diet and stuff, and he's like good now.
Yeah.
But he said like all the traditional shit was just like, no, you're fine, it's healed up, you're good. And he's like, but I feel like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was like, no spleen, but he was still eating the same food, drinking beer and stuff. And they were like, no, dude, just you only eat soup now.
Yeah, that's like the good thing about naturopathics doctors, is that they kind of go into your history pretty deep. You know, it's like if you go to an MD or something, they don't really ask you what you eat. They don't really care.
Yeah,
because they're as far as they go, their teaching goes, it's like they were never taught how to heal you in that way, or it's all about masking issues or stuff like that.
You know, it's weird, because I think there's a little bit of truth in everything, you know, or I think it's like
they're extremely good at other stuff. Like they're really good at putting you back together if you rip your arm off or something.
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, maintaining a healthy body for the rest of your life, they're not really pretty good at that.
So you were vegan for a number of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you a raw vegan or just vegan?
Yeah, raw vegan.
So just no animal products, nothing's cooked?
Yeah, nothing's cooked, all fruits and vegetables, very minimally processed. So it's like you still make stuff and make dressings and process your food, but there's no preservatives or anything in it, so it's very clean. And
then you retired.
Yeah.
So what? So was that like a year ago or so, or how long ago did you quit doing that?
Yeah, it's been about a year now since I started eating meat again and different animal products.
So what made you want to dive back into the world of delicious steaks?
So when I first started, it was like something that helped me extremely dealing with my back injury.
That's kind of how you got into health and wellness altogether, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been interested ever since a young age, but that injury particularly made me really look at my diet, and like kind of forced me into like really taking responsibility of what I was eating, because I needed something to actually gain results.
What was your back injury? Do you know what it was exactly, or is it just...
Yeah, it was a herniated disc.
Okay.
So I had 2 of those in my lower back.
Okay. So
and
that's the best way to fix it, is just diet and stretching and stuff? Is that kind of it, or what?
Yeah, I had gotten a book on it. And
you didn't get surgery or anything?
No, but it called for surgery, and the doctors wanted me to get surgery, and they were saying that I couldn't heal it naturally. It had to be something that was surgically done. And
what convinced you otherwise?
I just had a feeling that I was like, this doesn't seem right, because the success rate for the surgeries are so low.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to like take the chance and gamble and have my back messed up for the rest of my life.
To where it could have been worse.
So I was like, I better try some stuff naturally to see if I can even fix it on my own before getting a surgery, because I was kind of considering it, but then I just had this feeling that I didn't want to do that. So I decided researching and looking at different books and stuff, and I found this book on how to heal a bulging disc, which is the herniated disc, like beginning of it. And in there it was all about like dieting and yoga and different like natural herbal protocols and stuff. And I started following those principles, and I followed it out for about a month and started seeing results. So it kind of just led me on this path.
Did that take you off meat and stuff right away?
It didn't really like require it, but along the way I started getting into yoga and like their teachings and juice cleansing and stuff, and trying to lighten my diet just through being introduced into yoga and natural foods and stuff. And I don't know how exactly it happened, but it just...
I think when you go down that staircase, it all just kind of falls with you.
When you're like trying to consciously look at what you're eating and stuff, it just kind of happens naturally.
Yeah.
Especially with all the documentaries and stuff that are out there now. It's just like, it's pretty scarcity for the animal foods, animal-based foods.
Yeah. So, okay, so that kind of gets you on it. And I mean, essentially, do you feel like your back got back to 100%, or do you feel...
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's at 100% now, for sure.
Now, I guess you probably don't ever go off your protocol of being healthy here, but like, does it still flare up at all? Like, do you still have instances where it's a problem, or is it just...
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely fallen on it a bunch of times, and I had to like... It almost like felt like it kind of slipped out again.
Okay.
Not fully herniated, but kind of just started hitting the nerve.
Yeah.
And I just know like exactly what I need to do, so I'll just like start icing my back and stretching and taking my supplements and stuff, like anti-inflammatory supplements.
Are you still active in yoga?
Not as much as I used to be, just because I feel like I don't need like it's good. I definitely stretch every morning, and I do my little routine, but I don't like go to classes how I used to. I used to be pretty religious with it.
Yeah. So back to what I asked before I totally lost my train of thought. So you recently switched diets.
Yeah.
Back on, what is it now? What do you eat now?
Now I just try to eat a whole foods diet, which is like basically a lot of organic plants and just high quality meat products and very minimal processed foods. Okay. As much as possible.
No gluten? Minimal gluten?
Yeah, no gluten really. I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah. And how does your body feel in relation to the raw vegan diet? Is it drastically different, or is it...
I think at the time the raw vegan diet served me very well, just because I was coming from the standard American diet that I grew up on.
Fucking burgers, fries, cigarettes, and ecstasy.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the time, it's... I think every individual was at a different place with what they really need. So at that time, I really needed that, and I felt really good benefits from it. But after a number of years and like long term, it kind of takes a toll on your body, because something that can help you can also hurt you. Yeah, and I definitely felt pretty negative effects from it, and like my energy went down, all types of different stuff. And then I just recently had like my blood work done and stuff, so I know exactly what I need now. Yeah, but I just knew that
you had the blood work done since you switched diets.
No, yeah. I just recently had it done like a month ago.
Did you have it done when you were a raw vegan? Like
no, I never had anything.
Okay, I'd be curious to see the differences there.
Me too, yeah. But yeah, back then I just kind of like went off this idea of like living naturally and how I can return to like our natural way of life, and that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Okay. So did you read something, or do you have a mentor or somebody that kind of turned you on to getting back into some healthy meats and whatnot, or is that just kind of a conscious decision on your end to give it a go?
I think it was a combination of both. I have like different nutrition experts, I guess you could say, that I follow, like different podcasts, different people like write books, and
do you consider me one? Because I'm a nutrition expert with a podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's a combination of that, being exposed to different information, and actually being open to listening to it. Because I think before, just being a vegan, I was closing everything out that wasn't agreeing with my belief.
So it was slightly closed-minded.
Yeah. It's just like I was only looking into the places like what I wanted to hear, the things that I wanted to hear.
Yep.
And closing out all that stuff and just being open to it again and accepting it and actually having like the ears to understand. It's like
sounds like growing up.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's a weird thing to do, but just a combination of all that stuff together kind of just made me really question like my decisions and think that it may be time to change my diet and change my lifestyle. And
I think what's impressive during all this and why I think people need to listen to what you have to say in your story about it is because a lot of guys will switch to a vegan diet, whatever, and the raw vegan thing and live with it. But the whole time this is going on, minus injuries and whatnot, you're riding at a pro level.
That's another thing I think
you're out there doing shit. This is fueling you. This isn't just like, I didn't eat any meat today. Like, okay, what physical activity did you do? I went on a slow jog. Like, you're ice picking 40 stair rails and shit, where it's like, I definitely think there's something to whatever you're doing to fuel what you do.
Exactly, yeah. And like lifestyle plays a huge factor into like diet stuff, but it's I think it's another reason why it like depleted me so bad in those years is because I was ramping my body up all day long just by like riding all day.
Yeah.
Constantly. I didn't even have a car at the time, so I was just like riding my bike to and from places. So I was like commuting on my bike.
Body was doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and I was like living off bananas and fucking different store-bought fruits all the time. And I just think that like the lack of high quality protein and different nutrients just eventually caught up to me and took a toll on my body.
How delicious was that first steak?
It was pretty good, but it was actually it was definitely weird to get back into the mindset of like even though I like mentally was ready, I still like had this like guilt feeling because of just like the years of veganism, and like the just the beliefs of like thinking that we don't need meat, thinking that like you're harming an animal, all this stuff is like playing through my head.
Almost like turning your back on your religion of multiple years.
Yeah, and it felt like you have like this guilty feeling as you're partaking in a natural way of eating. It's just a very weird thing to encounter.
Were you ever into the whole animal aspect of veganism in the sense of like, don't hurt animals are wonderful, or was it strictly health?
I think, it was strictly health, but then that's kind of just a byproduct of that whole experience,
Okay, yeah.
Because like, and then, I don't know, like I was saying, I was researching a lot of those people who speak on veganism and stuff like that, and like watching all the documentaries and just looking at all the information, and like all those people would speak about how you don't have to harm animals and how you don't need meat and how all that stuff plays into the picture. So
when you eat meat now, do you try to make sure it was humanely killed or hunted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is a factor in it?
Yeah, it's like, the whole time I've been involved in the healthy diet and lifestyle, it's always been about quality for me.
Yeah.
So it's quality over quantity for sure. And that's, I still love animals. Not that I don't love them or anything because I eat animals, but it's just that...
Well, I granted I see things through my own eyes. I guess we're all guilty of that. But it seems to me that hunting's been long before language existed, hunting existed. And a lot of this is regulated and, it's population based. And I think a lot of people do a great job of conservation.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal to go out to Hamul and shoot a deer. We can't just go do it.
Yeah,
you know what I
can't
mean?
Just
so I don't know how accurate and good all that is, but it seems like it's fairly regulated.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe totally wrong, but there's definitely immoral hunting going on, especially in the world. A lot of like the
conventional
dolphin shit and stuff, like in Japan. Like there's some whale stuff. Like there's a lot of bad shit going on, but I think a lot of this, like going and killing an elk and eating the meat, like and using every piece of it, like I don't have a problem with that.
I'm not me either. I think it's a natural way of life. I just think that like the way we do our meat today is very. There's the conventional meat is so poor, and like the slaughterhouses and just the way they're fed, treated, all that stuff. It definitely is a horror story compared to like giving an animal a full life and
Yeah.
giving it a fair chance to live and hunting it and killing it that way. It's definitely a lot different.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the comparison that, like, vegans will argue with you, is that, every life deserves a full chance, and I agree with them for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what do vegans say to overpopulation issues? Do they have an answer for that, or is it just like...
I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So, question for you, in your opinion, what would you say is a pretty standard, all-around good diet for a bike rider, for an athlete? Like, would you think what you're doing right now is pretty close to what everybody should be doing? I know everybody's different. Some people need more things than others, but what would you say is kind of like if a young rider came up to you, 15-year-old JJ, and said, what should I do to get the most out of my body? What would you recommend?
The first thing I'd recommend is just, like I was saying, the quality first,
Yeah.
Eating organic plants. Like, that means going to the grocery store and finding whatever organic kale, high quality produce.
Okay.
And then having, like, your meats and stuff. And I just think about having, like, a balanced diet. It's like, don't jump on any extreme, whether it's keto. Don't jump on the, vegan diet, this diet, that diet. I would just say, take what's the most natural way of eating, which is plants and animals and minimally processed foods, and just do that to the best of your ability. Eat high quality protein a few times a day, so you're not starving yourself while you're out riding or anything like that.
Yeah.
And bring a bunch of snacks and stuff, so you can have like protein bars and stuff, so you're just properly nourished and not getting stuff at the gas station or eating at fast food places,
I think that's something that BMX riders that travel, myself included,
Yeah,
falls victim to when we're on the road.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
I get drunk
tough.
too much and you eat where you are.
Yeah, it is tough, and that's the way society has it set up. So you kind of like, the people who have the money to be in those places are making all the money, and unfortunately, it's not the best thing for us. But I know everyone's got to do like what they have to do. When you're hungry,
Yeah.
you have to eat something. So
Well, and I'm sure you've experienced the fact that a lot of the higher quality foods are also more expensive.
yeah, exactly. So
If you're
yeah.
a broke kid and this $4 can fill you up at Taco Bell, but you can go to the store
Mm-hmm.
and go to Whole Foods and get like a piece of kale.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's another unfortunate piece of it. I definitely, I put that into consideration too, because I'm definitely coming from a background that isn't so wealthy. So
Yeah.
it's just like prioritizing your money and like trying to spend each dollar wisely.
Do you feel like you can go to a regular grocery store, like we're in Southern California, like a Ralph's, or Vons, just a regular grocery store, and get quality food? Or do you think you need to go to like a specialty grocery store if you're to buy your fruits and vegetables, to buy your meat?
I think as a starting point for anyone, it's a good idea to start with your normal grocery store, because like getting into diet is definitely way too overwhelming to like the average person. So
Absolutely.
it's like they don't even know where to begin. It's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like for me, if I took my car to the auto mechanic, I have no idea what they're talking about.
They could sit there and just rape you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's going to cost you $15,000.
Yeah,
It's
so
like nothing.
it's very similar to the diet aspect. If you're going to go to the Ralph's or something, you could find something that's definitely decent quality.
Yeah.
And like, even though it's organic, it's still arguable that like you can get so deep down the rabbit hole with food.
Well, I've read articles too about how even the term organic is kind of a bullshit term, where a lot of the organic stuff is
it's just less contaminated than conventional food.
but it still can be pretty contaminated.
Yeah, so it's like, to some degree, I mean, the world that we live in right now is just very toxic as far as the chemicals go, and like, the amount of pollution that's going on. So
where do you buy fruits, vegetables, meat? Do you go to a regular grocery store, or do you go to like a specialty store?
I order my meat online from a farmer.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
up north.
In California, or
Yeah, in Big Bear. So it's like
No way, that's
2 hours
awesome.
away.
Okay.
And she does all pasture raised stuff, and
nice.
it's like really good quality. And
Is that pretty pricey?
yeah, it's very expensive.
But good shit though.
Yeah, it's very expensive. You can definitely taste the difference too.
Yeah.
But for an 8-pound box of meat, it's like $120 or
How long will that feed you for?
I try to ration out my meat into small portions, so should, between me and my girlfriend, it probably lasts 2 weeks or
Okay, yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just
I
like-
mean, it seems like a lot, but also think about what you'd spend eating out.
yeah, exactly. So
You
if
know,
you eat out every
like-
day, and like that's a big piece, is the convenience too. You have to be very willing to prepare your food and ready to.
When you go out riding, do you actually bring prepared food with you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even going to work right now, I have a lunch pack just because and I want the food that I like to have and stuff that like I agree with. And
I think it's worth noting that you work. Is the restaurant you work in a raw vegan restaurant?
Yeah,
so it's a raw vegan restaurant. You're bringing in meat.
I leave it. I mean, I bring it in the fridge. I don't eat in there just because of the respect issue.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because the customers wouldn't be too happy about that if they seen it.
Yeah, I could see that being fun. My buddy who worked at the same place goes across the street to 7-Eleven and eats hot dogs on his break. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's nothing good about that at all, but I really enjoy the concept of being this guy's your authority on food, and here he is walking across the street to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But what's your take on the ketogenic diet? I hear a lot of guys getting kind of high on that. Nick Bruce was doing that for a minute. I think he decided it wasn't for him, but I've heard a lot of riders trying to dive in on that. What do you think about that?
Like I was saying, the situation between humans is definitely so different. Like we can't really say that one size fits all for anybody.
Yeah. And
that I think similarly to all the other past diets that we've seen come and go, it is just another fad diet, but that's not to say it doesn't have benefits. I think it's got extreme benefits. Like it's very good for weight loss and it's good for brain health. And for people with brain issues who can't have certain foods, it's very good for those people, and it's
just because the fat is fueling the brain.
Yeah, and it's very beneficial for people who actually need it. And but to say that like your average person who reads a post on Instagram to jump on a keto diet, a lot goes into that. Depending on where they are, whether they need to do something else, whether they need to cleanse, whether they need certain other aspects of their diet.
I've had a couple of friends that would do it, and I'd be kind of surprised what they were eating when we would go out. I knew they were on a strict diet, but I'm like,
because it's also
that's covered in cheese.
Yeah, because that's another thing. It's like it can also, if you're not educated, it could be done so wrong, because you could have a burger patty with bacon and cheese, which is keto, but you could also have a salad with with like it's just about how you mentally go about it.
Yeah. I'm is that supposed to give you good fuel for exercise, riding, and stuff?
Yeah, it's switching your brain over to burning ketones instead of glucose. Okay. So it's like switching your fuel source, I guess you could say.
So changing gears here, you have a brand that makes, would you say, health and wellness supplements? What would you say that is?
Yeah, herbal supplements.
So plants basically. How long have you been doing this?
It's going on 2 years, I think.
Okay.
We're reaching 2 years.
So for somebody that knows nothing about what you do, how would you introduce the brand to them?
I would say...
Assume everybody listening has no clue what it is.
I would say it's a herbal supplement company that is all about quality, all about reintroducing wild plants that we've lost connection to and trying to bring those back. And that's something I would like for everybody to have, wild plants in their diet at some level.
Define a wild plant to me.
Like a wild plant is a dandelion, something like that, like a dandelion leaf.
Just grows out.
Which is like a commonly known plant that most people could recognize, but it's not like lettuce or kale or something like that, which is a domesticated plant. Yeah, so that a wild plant would be something that could live on its own without human will. Okay. Like it doesn't need to be watered. It doesn't need to be like the soil changed or anything like that.
And it's good to have those inside of your body?
Yeah, and it's because all those other plants like kale and lettuce and stuff like that, they once were a wild plant, but they've been domesticated, and all the medicinal properties of those plants kind of get drawn out, like the bitter flavors or like the medicinal stuff. Okay. And they're more sweet and like palatable because somehow
they've been engineered that way, essentially.
Yeah, just for flavor, and like that's what we like as humans. Yeah. And just the issue with that is that you lose your nutritional value on a deeper level, because similarly to like what the pharmaceutical industry does, like they resell you all your medicine back. You think about it, it's like, why? Well, if food's supposed to be our medicine and medicines are food, like how can we get that if it's not in the food? Yeah. So right now we're just living in an age where all the grocery store food doesn't really have that medicine anymore, and I'm trying to reintroduce that back into the world.
So, and you can do that by taking some of the properties from these plants and making them into tinctures and mixtures and whatnot? Yeah,
tinctures. You just like soak them in alcohol and different other like glycerins and stuff like that, and you extract those nutrients, and you can get that in an easy digestible form through a dropper. Okay, yeah. And it's just easy to carry on you and stuff, so it's a really easy way to have that type of level of nutrition that we lack so hard right now in our average diet.
Well, and I mean, I think there's something to it because I think you know what you're talking about, but even as far as BMX goes, I see guys like Dennis Anderson, Dan Lacey. I mean, a bunch of guys are taking your stuff regularly. Guys that are hard on their bodies and health conscious as well. Yeah. So I can't imagine it has no effect if these guys are taking it.
That's like I think the most beautiful thing about it is that it's so easy to take and that it's very effective, you know, because it's like such a high concentration of these compounds and these droppers.
Yeah.
That most people haven't had. You could probably say their whole life, you know, they haven't had that level.
30-year-old men are introducing something brand new.
Yeah, because you think about the diet that we all grew up on, it was highly processed and pretty much fast food for most of us, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
And then like now you see most people breaking into the more like conscious eating lifestyle where it's like they're still getting like higher quality food, but it's still lacking those medicinal compounds that I'm talking about.
So what are some of the benefits to having those in addition to your current diet? I mean, is it just overall like energy, immunity?
Yeah, like the different blends for different things, like your joints. I have one for your joints.
What are all the products right now?
There's a juicy joint, there's an immune hack, and there's a elevated energy. Okay. So each one of those obviously gearing towards immune system, joint, and energy levels.
So all of those can be relevant for a BMX rider or anybody
that's my whole idea is developing blends that would benefit people in my sport, which would be, you know, BMX stuff.
And I think it's similar to a lot of other active sports, you know.
Yeah, that's where I want to start off, is giving back to my community and spreading out from there.
That makes sense. It's probably all you know.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, overall, did it take you a long time to kind of perfect these products?
Yeah, It definitely took a while, a lot of research and stuff, but it all kind of happened from my back injury, which was I was taking these different herbs separately. Okay. And that was for my anti-inflammatories, and that's what started the Juicy Joint, which was my first blend. Okay. And
so it was a matter of you're taking all this stuff, but you wanted to simplify it and put it all together, so you could just take this as opposed to getting 50 different things.
Yeah, a lot of people would ask me, like, you know, I ride bikes. I get messages all the time, like, what should I take? What should I eat? What should I do? And I just eventually, I was like, I'm constantly answering this question. I should probably just make a product that's like, for this exact reason. And like, at the time, I was very focused on plant-based nutrition, so I wanted to make something that was vegan. Yeah. And that's just the cool part about, you know, herbalism is a lot of the stuff, it just happens to be vegan because of the plants. So
all the stuff is vegan. Mm-hmm. Do you want to keep it that way, or is that?
Eventually I'll probably add some other stuff. Like I want to do a protein powder eventually that I wouldn't say I don't want it to be vegan, but I like different things like collagen and colostrum and stuff. So okay, I might introduce one of those in.
Yeah. Is most of that plant-based protein vegan then? Is that kind of the deal? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the protein powders out there are plant-based, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that depending on what you're looking for, and
yeah, I don't, you know, like you said, if it's quality, I think it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so who's all taking the stuff? Who are some of the BMX guys that are swearing by your shit?
It's pretty awesome. I have a ton of support right now from a bunch of people. Dennis is on it. Yep. And I got Dan Paley, Dan Lacey, Joris, Dan Collard, Jake Seeley.
Nice.
There's a bunch of people. It's a lot of people to list off. I got Brandon Beacon, like a bunch of.
Are you selling stuff worldwide then? I see a lot of these guys aren't in the United States.
Yeah, I'm shipping internationally.
Is that an issue at all, shipping a liquid internationally? Not yet, at least.
It's kind of confusing. I mean, like, custom stuff is definitely weird between different countries and stuff. But, like, I know I had a big issue with getting Joris stuff to France. Yeah. And I don't know if it was a address issue or what it was, but he's getting his stuff now, so that's good. And, I'm not sure if it was from the liquid or what it was, but I think certain countries probably just have like tighter restrictions, like China and stuff like that. They don't allow.
They just want pollution. They don't want healthy stuff.
Yeah, they don't want anything coming in.
I mean, would your goal be to eventually get this stuff in stores, or would you lose the quality if you had to produce more?
I'm not sure. I mean, I would love to have stuff in stores just because it'd be reaching a broader audience, but as far as the quality goes, yeah, it's like I'm making the stuff myself, so I guess it'd be difficult to.
You just sell direct right now, right? It's just
direct.
you. Okay.
Yeah, direct. And
what's the website? Is it plantsbasically.com?
Plantsbasically.com. Yeah.
Very creative.
And and I think it'd be hard to maintain the quality as far as the way I like to do things. I don't know how it would be on a larger scale, but I wouldn't devalue the quality of my product ever. So
yeah. I think that's got to be an issue with all sorts of businesses. You start going big, it's like, what do? You might have a maximum size, but
because that's been my main issue with buying supplements myself, is like just trusting the company and being able to say the quality is up to my standards. So whatever I'm putting out, I would never want to devalue it. And even at the risk of making more money or whatever, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. Are a lot of people taking your stuff that aren't BMX riders? Or do you think it's mostly BMX riders right now?
I've had some people, like different like people who are into yoga and stuff like that, but it's pretty much BMX oriented for the most part, and skateboarding.
Nice. Is this stuff for everybody? Like, should younger kids be taking it? It's all or is it something you want to wait till you're fully developed? Or
I would say wait, not to, like fully developed, but I would say anything under like 12 or 13, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And
they shouldn't be taking protein powders or anything, right? Isn't that kind of the deal?
Like, I mean, at a young age, I mean, it's difficult to say just because they're probably eating stuff that's way worse for them.
Oh, probably so.
But just like from a company owner aspect, I just don't want to say that it's okay for them to take it at such a young age.
Yeah. Apparently they're not supposed to drink beer or smoke cigarettes either. So
which they're probably doing that too.
They probably are this day and age.
Yeah.
So the one is the immune hack. I see a lot of guys taking that. So is that essentially to make you not get sick, I assume?
Yeah, that's my favorite one, to be honest. Like everyone loves the joint formula the most, I think. But for me, the immune system one is probably the favorite, because I think living in our society today, people have like the most like low immune system in history.
Is that a product of all the food and bad shit people eat?
Yeah, through the toxicity, like the stressful day-to-day lifestyle we have, living indoors, not being exposed to nature, different good bacteria, all that type of stuff. So like we need immune system support more than anything, and I think it's an easy way to it's like a sickness prevention. It's like you wouldn't take it like you would take NyQuil or DayQuil, like once you're already at that point.
Is it something people should be taking every day?
Yeah, it's very agreeable, and it's like the mushrooms that they use in the blend have been studied for a long time. Okay, and like there's a difference between low dose herbs and everyday tonic herbs. Okay, and I use tonic herbs just because it's like if you want to be able to take it every day, you can't be using the low dose stuff. So
nice. Have you noticed a big difference in getting sick?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's I definitely don't get sick as much as I used to at all. Yeah. And if so, it's because I probably wasn't taking it regularly, and like I sometimes drink alcohol, I drink wine, and stuff like that. So like if you like just have like a few days where you're pressing yourself and drinking, trying to lower, like if you're lowering your immune system, it can catch up to you. So
you're trying to say that drinking's bad for you?
In some degree, yeah.
Interesting. So, and you got the joint, you got that, and the other one's, is it the berry mix? Is that what it is?
There is a berry mix too. It's an antioxidant blend, but the other one was the energy one.
Okay. And what is that? Is that kind of you can have that instead of a Red Bull?
It's very similar to like the thing I was saying before. It's like you can't really take it and just notice like you drink a coffee or something.
Gotcha. Yep.
But it's more like long-term sustaining energy.
Gotcha.
That you wouldn't even really notice unless you were like not taking any substances at all.
So a lot of this stuff, do you feel like the joint stuff people notice a big difference like immediately, or?
Yeah, I mean you can notice a difference probably between, it depends on the person, but anywhere between a few days to a few weeks or something, depending on how serious your situation is.
We live in a society where people want immediate results, which is just impossible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
a lot of this is kind of trusting it.
Patience is key, and taking it regularly, and like also believing in it too. I mean, a lot of people, no matter what you believe, it's like you could think that something's working, and if it's the most toxic thing ever, and like you have a mindset that it's working, it's probably going to work. Yeah. Depending on what it is.
So would you say your long-term goal is to grow this brand and kind of just focus on this full time?
Yeah, that's That's my goal. My main goal is to keep doing it and improve the products and make better supplements, and just I would like to focus on this as my lifelong goal for sure. And make it like a company that's a bigger company.
Are there other products on the horizon that I know you mentioned a protein powder. Are you working on anything else right now, or is your plate pretty full with pro rider, full-time job, and running the brand?
Yeah, it's pretty full, and there's a lot going on for sure right now. And I think right now I'm just going to focus on those products and just kind of get those dialed in. Yeah. And then eventually I'm going to enter, do like a digestive bitter, do like a detox formula, and a few other ideas I have, like the protein one. And nice. Yeah. I want to do like a brain function one too. And
sounds good.
Kind of just want to cover all the bases of the body so that way people have full coverage.
Viagra. Boner health. That's always an important
You could lump that into the energy one. It's got good stamina.
Ooh, sounds classy. So, plantsbasically.com, Instagram, Plants Basically.
At Plants Basically.
At Plants Basically. And everybody should buy it, and they'll feel way better. And that's that.
Guaranteed.
Let's talk about bike riding.
Bike riding, let's do it.
You been riding much?
I have. I've been riding more lately.
Yeah?
For sure, yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
You working on anything right now?
At the moment, I'm not, but I definitely want to start filming a new project soon. Yeah.
What? Who do you ride with usually?
I usually ride with Matt Minshke.
Okay, yeah.
And Garrett when he's in town.
Yep.
My friend Anthony Ayala.
How far does Garrett live from you?
He lives in South Park, so it's probably about...
Where are you? Are you in North Park, or where are you?
I'm in Mission Hills.
Oh, okay.
So it's like...
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Like right by Washington Street.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 minutes in a car.
Much closer than I realized. 15. Yeah.
But I ride with DeMarcus when our schedules line up together.
Yeah.
And Albert Mercado and...
Good crew.
Yeah.
Good solid bunch of dudes
that's like my main issue, I think, is like getting my schedule to meet with other people right now. That's like the toughest part with riding.
I know, like when I watch young JJ ride, doing a lot of bar spins, going high, burly and whatnot, and I feel like adult JJ is a bit more technical, backwards manuals, shit like that. I mean, is that a conscious decision? Is that just trying to keep it fresh for you, or what?
I think the combination of both of them. I think trying to keep it fresh, learning new stuff, and also, realizing where I'm at, like as far as not wanting to jump down a giant set of stairs anymore. Just not really pleasing.
Save that for the 17-year-olds.
Yeah, it's not really pleasing to me, and I just like the risk factor is very high. Not that I don't want to take risks, but it's just like at a certain point, it's you're just like, what are you gonna keep jumping like 20 stairs and 30 stairs and eventually 40? It's like
yeah.
It's just I have a lot more fun learning like tech tricks and stuff, and it's funny. I actually heard a phrase from my friend who knows Jim Greco, and he was saying that like he like thinks about skating in two different ways, and he's like relates it to music, and he's like the other guys are playing hardcore and I'm doing smooth jazz. And
that's good.
I could say it's kind of like what I'm doing, just playing smooth jazz right now. And
yeah.
Leaving the hardcore up to the other people.
That's cool. I appreciate that. You're still so you ride for Fiend. Anybody else?
Yeah, Fiend, All Day, Shop, and Trip, Deadline.
Yep.
And that's about it right now.
Are you out of Etnies?
Yeah, I think it.
Did that kind of end when Pova was gone?
Yeah, when Pova left, it kind of just...
it seems like it ended for everybody.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, I love that company, that brand and everything, and Pova's awesome, but kind of just... I just kind of just like...
Yeah, one of those weird ones.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on at Fiend? I just saw they were out in Barcelona, and I don't think you were there.
Yeah, that's they're working on an amateur project.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like focusing on those guys and giving those the time to.
Those AM kids are fucking good.
They're ridiculous, man. Johnny Rakes and all those dudes.
Who else is it? Oh, is Lewis out in Barcelona with him?
I think Lewis was with him. Yeah.
Have you been on a trip with him yet?
I haven't, but I briefly met him when he was out here staying with Garrett and stuff.
Do you follow him on social media?
I do. Yeah.
He's like a crazy artist, man.
Yeah.
Super talented guy. Incredible rider. Like. Yeah, I'm a fan. That guy's very impressive.
Yeah.
He's in there's like the Australian X Games about to happen. I saw he was in that for street.
Man.
He's probably gonna fuck shit up and
absolutely, yeah.
And then be in real X Games and just start making big shit. Man, he's fucking good.
Oh, absolutely.
But damn good rider.
I'm a fan of his riding style and everything. It's really good.
He seems like a very appealing guy. Like he could be big in BMX.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
For
like,
sure.
I think everybody's gonna like him. People that don't already know him are gonna see his shit and like sweat it, and you know.
Yeah.
What about does All Day have a shop in the States?
I'm not exactly sure. I know.
Because they're in Mexico, right?
Well, Mexicali. So
Mexicali's in Mexico, right? I think.
I don't think so.
Isn't it?
I'm trying to think of where the other shop is.
Are there two shops?
I think so. Yeah.
Nice, interesting.
But I know he closed one that was in actual Mexico. So
Okay,
I think that's why I'm confused. I was just like trying to think of where
that guy
was.
seems to do a lot for the scene out there.
Yeah, he kills it.
Kinda
He does
holds
so
it
much for
down,
them. He definitely holds it down for them. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, it's you. I kind of worry about cities like that. Like, what would happen if they didn't have a guy like him?
Yeah, and he's constantly like running between like here in LA and like always driving somewhere, like meeting up with someone, filming.
Yeah, I'll see him some places and I'll be like,
He's got a family.
"Oh, you were
He's a
from
dad.
Mexico."
He's it's full-time thing.
Yeah, that's cool. What's up with your frame? Do you have a new color coming out, or did I make that up?
No, I have a new V3 coming out. Actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What's the time frame on that?
I think spring. So
Couple months,
springtime.
6
so,
months. What is that?
Yeah,
6 months.
Yeah.
Any crazy changes?
Nothing too crazy. Just shorten the back end a little bit and change the graphics and the cosmetic aspect of it. Just like
The graphics on the last one were fucking killer.
Yeah, Evan Fisher is awesome.
Man, he's incredibly talented. What are the new graphics? Anything you can?
It's Mother Nature with like a waterfall coming out of her chest, so it's kind of just like I'm always thinking of different things, what's going on in the world. I'm just like, right now it's like a crazy time for Mother Nature, and kind of just pouring her heart out, trying to let everyone know what's going on.
On a bicycle frame.
Yeah, on a bicycle frame.
What colors are you doing?
I'm doing raw, matcha green, and a black.
Have you done a green one before?
I did avocado green, yeah.
Okay, so it's a different green.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's kind of similar, though.
What color are you on right now? Are you
I'm on
the
a
purple
blue.
one still?
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the blue's good.
Yeah.
Looks good.
It's like a trans blue. It's awesome looking.
Yeah. No, that's good shit, man. You guys should do a crazy promo for that.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about starting to film soon again, I would probably be like the first project to work on and be a frame thing.
Nice. Looking back at BMX, I kind of feel like you were kind of the last of the East Coast Little Devil guys, like the last guy to get on and stuff. But does that mean, is that a big deal to you? I mean, it seems kind of cool. It's such an iconic brand. I feel like you were the last guy on. Maybe you weren't, but at least to me, you were the last guy that got a lot of coverage and stuck around that was on.
Oh, absolutely. That was like the craziest feeling coming up from the East Coast and following Van and all those guys and seeing them ride and growing up. And like they were such a huge influence for me.
Yeah.
And then, eventually growing up and then getting other sponsors and then like getting to that point to where I got to ride for Little Devil was like amazing. It was such a cool feeling to be able to be involved in a brand that I looked up to and had photos on my wall.
Yeah.
It's like such an accomplishment.
Was anybody else getting on around when you got on, or was it kind of like just you?
There were some other local people, I think, that got on.
Yeah.
I think Caesar got on for a little bit, and then he kind of I forget what happened, but he just stopped riding through an injury, I think.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he like messed up his wrist pretty bad.
Monzon?
Yeah, Caesar Monzon.
I never met him, but I always like watching his stuff.
Super good rider and like, such an awesome person.
Yeah. No, that was the good old days, man.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore. And then did you have a shoe from Orchid?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the crazy zebra thing?
Yeah, it's like a Chibra.
Yeah, man, you've come a long way from a Chibra shoe and
the heavy rock and roll influence.
Yeah, it seems like you were probably a little bit out of your mind there.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, any 18-year-old kid usually is.
You're allowed to be.
Yeah, listening to like the music and like just being influenced so heavily on different things.
Yeah. How'd you get into BMX in the first place back when you were younger?
I guess it all started with my neighbor. I had a neighbor that like had like this board set up out front of his house, and he like would just put it on.
Is this in Philly? Did you pretty much grow up in the Philly area?
It was like in the suburbs of Philly, so it wasn't exactly a city.
Okay.
It was pretty close, like a half hour outside of the city.
Gotcha. Yep.
And he would just set up
Pennsylvania side or New Jersey side?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so my neighbor would always like set up this like wood ramp, and he would be jumping it out front. I just thought it was so cool, and I wanted to get involved in that. So
how old were you then?
I was like 12.
Okay.
And I got like some crazy Walmart bike and just beat the hell out of it. And
yeah.
And just like, I don't know, that's where it all started, is like that Walmart bike and jumping the ramp out front of my house.
So was your neighbor like a legit rider, or is he just another kid like you just fucking around?
He was another kid, and eventually it snowballed into like just keep continuously riding around the neighborhood. And eventually I think I met like other kids at the bike shop, the local bike shop, when I'd bring my bike in, and like connected with those guys. And then
was there a skate park or street spots or anything nearby that you kind of got your start on, or?
There was like some street spots, but back then the skate parks weren't really, they were all indoor stuff because of the East Coast.
Yep.
So like the closest skate park I had to me was this place called Ivyland. And then I met.
That was an indoor.
Yeah, it was indoor.
Okay.
And like I grew up riding that place on the weekends, and my dad would take me there, and I'd see like Adam Alois and Pat Juloff and Van all the time.
Yeah.
I remember I was like starstruck the one time when I had to ask Pat Juloff to use his wrench to fix my bike. It felt so crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you kind of get into street riding mostly then, if you were kind of riding the park a lot?
I think...
You were always a hell of a ramp rider.
Yeah, I would ride ramps a bunch too.
Yeah.
And I was like heavily influenced on ramps. But
do you ride ramps at all anymore?
Here and there. Like I'll go to the OB park and pump around there for a little bit, but like it's just not the same. It's not like it's something about like wooden ramps, or just that's like what I'm really into.
Just kind of the roots.
Yeah. And I think the street thing really stuck around just because I really like the feeling of going to Philly and going downtown and having the freedom to just like roam around the city.
Yeah.
And probably had something to do with I was always skipping class and going to the city and stuff. So
did you graduate high school?
I didn't.
Nice.
No.
Nice. Neither did Scotty Kramer.
And
no. And he has a lot of followers on YouTube. So maybe one day you can have a lot of followers on YouTube.
That's like the pattern, I think, nowadays. It's like you can't graduate high school to have YouTube followers.
Did you ever ride the Incline Club?
I did, yeah. That was another park that I always rode.
Is that where you first started riding with Garrett, or where'd you meet him at?
Yeah, we met at the Incline Club,
Yeah.
And I think I was like 15 when I met him. So he was probably...
You're older than him, right?
Yeah.
A couple years older than him?
He was like 12 or 11 or something.
Was
he like super young.
Still badass when he was a child?
Oh, yeah. He was still ridiculous.
Fuck,
like,
man.
Doing truck drivers still.
Yeah. That area bred a lot of really good riders.
New Jersey is like a crazy place.
Even just the New Jersey, Philly area altogether, like throughout the history of BMX, which is crazy because the harsh winters and stuff. And like,
yeah.
I hope they don't get like a stunt in that growth based on Incline Club closing. Are there still any indoors out there? I don't know.
I don't think so. I haven't been back home in a long time, but I know that they do have like a lot of plazas now. Like
those only work about 6 months out of the year, you know?
Yeah, and like a lot of that stuff's popping up, but I think it's just really hard nowadays to have an indoor skate park. You know, it's to pay for that rent and that insurance and all that stuff. It's just got to be so hard.
And the fact that now there are more public skate parks.
Yeah, and it's like it's taken away from all that. And
yeah, like so.
There's summer months I remember going, like riding by the skate park and seeing how bad it was for them. Like no one in there, and like they just like have the lights on but still open.
It sucks too because like it's like you were talking about with plants. Basically, it's like even if your intentions are to get rich, if you just want to keep the lights on and keep your bills paid, like I don't even think you can do it with a skate park, man. It sucks.
Yeah, it's tough.
Unless you could cook up some sort of brilliant idea where something else was feeding it also, or you could also use the space for something else. But like just as a whole, it's just like you got to charge so much money and it's the same thing, and ramps are so expensive and skate lights so expensive and ramp construction and bowl corners are so complicated and expensive, you know, and it's like, and then the dude next door probably has a fucking CrossFit gym. He put some free tires in and he's probably getting rich as hell.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, people are just flipping them around.
Yeah. Where it's well, I got to buy all these skate light and bullshit, but
yeah, do you think about like how most people just don't want to pay for anything?
No.
You know, everyone wants to do whatever they can for free, which is understandable because it's like people trying to save money, and it's just another factor aside from like everyone's street riding mostly right now.
Yeah.
I mean, ramp's always going to be around. It's definitely a thing. It's just that I think that the indoor thing is definitely tough.
It's tough, man, because weather's real.
Yeah.
But it seems to kind of work like in the UK. There's a bunch of indoor parks.
Yeah.
You know, like some other parts of the world, I feel like it works, but I don't know why. I don't know what to attribute that to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's unfortunate, but it's not unfortunate being in San Diego, but it's unfortunate if you're somewhere in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever have any desire to live on the East Coast again?
Yeah, I think so. I think I do like California. It's kind of like this fairy tale land to me where it's you kind of like remove yourself from reality in a weird way because it's like always the same day. It's always the same weather. Even in the winter time, it's like
you got like a 10-degree variance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's for me, it's like being connected to nature is like my main thing. And I love plants, and I love being on hikes, and I love going to rivers and like just participating in nature. So
might be worth going to live in the mountains somewhere. It's been
I think here it's like if you go outside of San Diego, it's all deserty. So there's different pockets of different like areas like Julian and stuff you can go.
Yep.
But to truly feel like I'm connected to nature, I feel like I need to be in the woods. So I think eventually I might move back.
Yeah,
at some point.
That's cool.
New
Jersey and Philadelphia are very green.
Yeah,
there's good looking area, good part of the world. Hey, one thing I wanted to ask about health-wise, I kind of forgot about. What's your take on marijuana?
Marijuana? I think it's a medicinal plant that's it's got its benefits, but it's also got its downfalls, just like most things. To say if someone young should be smoking it as opposed to, the benefits that you have from a CBD oil or juicing the plant and making
do people juice marijuana?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's just different. Like it's taking one part of the plant and just extracting it and using it to like escape reality.
Yeah.
So that alone is kind of, we all need to relax and escape sometimes, but to constantly do that on a everyday level, it's just arguable to say that whether it's good or bad for people. As far as a health aspect, I don't think it has that bad of a impact on your body. I think it's definitely very beneficial, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it do to the body that's positive?
It's something with like the pain receptors, I think, and the anti-inflammatory response that you would get from it.
How about ingesting it? Because smoking anything is bad, right?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah, because the fire aspect of the carcinogens.
Just inhaling smoke, your lungs aren't supposed to do that. That's something I'm always curious about, just because I hear so many people that are like, oh, it's a health benefit thing, and it's like, I think you just like to get high. That's okay, but it's just like,
yeah, it's definitely healthy. Like I was saying, the anti-inflammatories and different stuff for your brain, different like if people have seizures and stuff, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good, like to take CBDs and stuff. But it's definitely big open topic that you can probably do a whole podcast on, just that.
Totally.
So
I know
it's hard to
so little about it, and it's,
but I think it's healthy. I think it's just the way you go about it is the determining whether it's healthy for you or not.
Even like with BMX going in the Olympics and there's really strict drug testing, like CBD is 100% legal.
Yeah.
Like, it's the world's kind of changing.
That's what I mean. I don't consider it a drug, and it's just like obviously it's legal now, so it's like.
Yeah,
it's definitly...
It's legal here.
Yeah, legal here.
Not legal everywhere.
Well, that's what I mean. You live in California long enough, you think the whole world operates this way.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
You kind of start losing your shit. How long have you been out here?
Probably like 8 years now.
Damn.
Going on 9.
Damn.
Yeah.
How much more you got in you?
I'm not sure. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Where is your chick from out here? Where's she from?
She's from New Hampshire. So I think if I did move to the East Coast, it'd be somewhere in New Hampshire, Vermont, somewhere up north that way.
That's cool. Does she have desire to go back?
Yeah, just because her family and her job and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. I could live out there.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there.
It's cold, but
yeah,
I guess you can leave. The joys of airplanes and other cool things like that. You can go somewhere warm.
Exactly. Yeah.
But who is your favorite BMX rider of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah,
I'd have to say Corey Martinez, just because. He's always been one of my favorites, and just the fact that he just is still completely destroying it,
He's so goddamn good.
And he doesn't look like he aged a year.
Yeah.
He still looks the same. He's still like riding at an unbelievable level. And he's like learning and progressing.
I think a lot of people don't even realize how impressive that is, that he was the man when I was a kid and he's the man now. And I don't mean just in the sense of keeping it up. I mean in the sense of continuing to progress.
Yeah.
Like what he's doing now is miles and miles and miles ahead of what he was doing 10 years ago. But like, he was so established then. It's just like other guys like do the same shit, like, which is cool. It's cool you're still riding. It's cool you can still do that invert, but Martinez is like still progressing it. So I think that's a damn good choice.
Yeah, he's a G.
Yeah. Do you ride with him much when he's out here? He's going to be here full time, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I ride with him and Nathan too.
That's a good crew.
Yeah.
San Diego's kind of crazy right now, man.
It's awesome.
Motherfuckers out here.
A lot of people are here. It's pretty good. Pretty cool.
How much longer do you want to ride BMX for?
I haven't really thought about it. I just kind of
Yeah.
like I've always like wanted to ride just as long as possible, and whether it's a professional level or not, I think I'll always ride my bike at some level.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's I don't really have a goal for how long. I think it's just like
If you didn't have that attitude, you'd probably hate your life.
yeah,
Feeling forced to do this shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's like
it's got to be fun.
it's a pure love and passion of mine, just
Yeah.
like food and nutrition and everything.
Yeah. What else do you like? Is that it?
Nature.
Tits?
I really want to get into hunting and gathering.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah,
You ever shot guns before?
I haven't, but
Yeah.
I think just with this new progression and chapter of my life, I kind of want to go that route.
I know a lot of people that'll do that, and like it's cool. They'll go kill an elk or something and like have just tons of meat and have meat for the year and hook people up with meat, and just like hearing them talk about the personal experience of eating something they killed.
Mhm.
So I haven't experienced it, but I can see that being something that, you know, with your outlook on things being super relevant.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I just want to reconnect, and I think it's like our natural way of life. So I just want to be self-sustaining, you know, at some point.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like live outside of the city and kind of have my own place away from
Don't need
everything.
to talk to anybody and just fuck off.
Live like close enough, but not like just be around all the noise all the time.
Yeah, it gets loud.
Mhm.
Probably heard airplanes and shit during this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, anything else you want to get off your chest?
Not really. Just yeah, check out Plants Basically and stuff, and
Spend a bunch of money.
yeah. No, but get your health together and take care of yourself, and you know, just continue being the best person you can be.
Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to everybody?
You and everyone else.
Oh fuck! I got to be better now. All right.
Yeah.
Do my best. JJ, thank you for the time, buddy. Congratulations on the brand, and I hope it keeps going well, and it seems to work. I've been taking the immune thing, and I haven't been sick yet, so it sounds to me like it works.
That's good. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Let's party. All right, that does it for this week. Big thanks to JJ for stopping by. Follow JJ on Instagram at JJ Palmere. Also, check out plantsbasically.com and follow Plants Basically on Instagram at Plants Basically. And until next week, just remember, it doesn't count if you don't pull the rollback. See ya.